Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I am actually going to be reviewing a game for once. Now clearly I do not like any anime whatsoever. So why would I be reviewing a game where people breathe like this? Well, it's because I played the third one and I absolutely loved it. Pretty much everything about that game was great. And when I saw that the fourth game was coming to Switch, I knew I had to play it. I've been waiting ever since December 3rd of 2019 for this game. And it feels like such a long time now, but it's really not that bad. And as of today, the game has finally released. And so, since I've been waiting for it so long, and I've never done a game review before, I thought why not start now? So without further ado, let's get into the video. There's a lot of content in this game, so I'm just going to go through the important parts of the game one by one, which means I'm going to start off by talking about the story mode. The story mode of this game takes place towards the end of the 4th Great Ninja War, specifically right before Sasuke shows up. The story mode is basically just a recap of what happens in the anime, but instead of watching everything, you actually get to play the battles. Before playing this game, you should definitely watch the anime. If you don't, you'll kind of get what's going on, but you'll have more of an idea of what's going on in the story if you watch the anime. Instead of just straight out taking clips from the anime in the story mode, they use brand new 3D animated cutscenes made for this game. Well, most of the time anyway. Sometimes instead of 3D animation, they will use still images from the anime. Now I'm not quite sure why they didn't make 3D visuals for this part, but that's fine. Or it would be if they took actual clips from the anime instead of just using still images. Personally, I find the still image thing very annoying to look at, and I found myself skipping most of them as much as possible. It mostly seems that they only do this when the characters are talking amongst themselves and there's no action going on. But sometimes they do use images for small fight scenes that take place. When they do this, it's very hard to make out what's going on because there's so much motion going on, but it's only within a bunch of still images. My guess for the reason that they did this is because of their budget. But it still confuses me why they didn't just take actual clips from the anime. If they did that, I'd be completely fine with that. I'd even be fine if there were no 3D animations and the whole game was clips from the anime for cutscenes. Now when it comes to actual 3D animations, I find they're very well done, but sometimes they can look a little cloudy. But that's fine because I'm sure it's only because of the fact that this is a port from a game that was originally on PS4. Something that I really like about the story mode is the QuickTime events. They're honestly really cool. Even though you don't require all that much work to play them, it's a good way of showing parts that you couldn't play using the normal gameplay. Overall, I really enjoyed the story mode. There's something really cool about playing through battles that you've seen in the anime. If I could pick one thing they could change for the story mode though, it would definitely be the still image cutscene thing. It's just really boring to look at and hard to track what's going on sometimes. The Road to Boruto part of the game is pretty much just more story mode, but this time focusing on the Boruto movie, which takes place after the events of Naruto. This part of the story though is way shorter, and it's still really fun. Also, it gets rid of those still image cutscenes that I hate so much. But once you beat the story section of Road to Boruto, there's still more to do in the form of free roam. The biggest part of this being Boruto's 10 tasks. Boruto's 10 tasks are pretty much just battles shown to you using flashbacks. One of the tasks that really stood out to me was one called the VR Facility, where you help Shikamaru by gathering battle data through simulated fights. This really just adds a lot more gameplay time to the game, especially if you want to go for S rank on every fight. Something I noticed while playing the free roam sections of Road to Boruto is some of the animations that the NPCs have. They're very odd. I mean, look at this kid. He looks like he's mentally ill. Overall though, Boruto's section of the game is really fun, and I'm looking forward to completing all the 10 task stuff. This is where I get to talk about the main gameplay, and it is amazing. I love this style of a fighting game. It's probably my favorite style, right next to Smash Bros, of course. I don't know what it is about the 3D open fighting game style that I like so much, but it's really fun and exciting to play. I find the overall gameplay really fast paced, and some of this has to do with the chakra dash mechanic. The chakra dash allows you to get to your opponent across the map almost instantaneously. There's also the ability to use substitution jutsu, which helps you in situations where you're constantly getting hit by attacks. It basically lets you get away from your opponent and mostly behind them, so that you can strike with a counterattack. One of the main mechanics of the game is the special attacks. There are two kinds of these. One uses a small amount of chakra but does less damage, and the other one uses a lot of chakra and does a lot of damage. The one with more damage also has a really cool cutscene that plays when you use it, and it's very satisfying when you manage to hit your enemy with one of these attacks. Something that I really love about this game is the amount of characters in it. There are over 100 characters in this game, and each one of them has alternate costumes. Something I don't really care for though is the character select screen. I just don't really like it the way it's set up. I would prefer if they did it the same way they did in the third game, where you could see all the characters at once, instead of going over into different columns of characters. Another important thing to mention is I've noticed a few times where the frame rate has dropped. One instance being when I went down some stairs in the free roam mode for the 5 minutes that I actually played that. I mentioned this before, but it's probably just because this is a port of a PS4 game, and some things just aren't going to be perfect when you port a game from a more powerful system. But at least there aren't any frame drops during battle. The final thing I'm going to mention is at the game's launch, there was a problem where the online mode wasn't working, but that has since been fixed. It's really annoying that this happened, and it's fine now, but it's definitely something to note because something like this could easily happen again. With everything said about this game, I give it a 7 out of 10 score. There are some issues with the game, but overall it's a very fun game to play, and most of the issues I had with this game were not things that affected the core gameplay. Overall, this game is a very fun experience, and I highly recommend that you play it. Except if you haven't watched the anime. Go watch that right now. It's not like you have anything better to do, since everyone's stuck inside. Honestly, the anime is just a way better way to experience the story than this game could give you, or any of the other games. You should definitely go watch that before you play any Naruto game. Also, if you're thinking to buy the games that come before this one, don't. This game is just basically a definitive version of all the other ones. Sure, it doesn't include the same story elements and stuff, but it has way more characters, more stages. I'm sure more people are playing this one online. You should definitely just go with the fourth one before playing any other ones. And that is the end of my Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto review. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If so, like, subscribe. There are links to my Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.